How's it going, everybody? Skip 2 to Tuesday. Yesterday, was feeling a little rough, but today's a good day. There's a couple things I want to talk about today. One of them we're going to focus on being able to say no. This is something that I've always struggled with. I've always had a hard time saying no. You know, whether it be somebody needing something, needing help, needing to talk, needing, anything. I've always tried to find a way to comfort them by being there however I can. In most cases, this is okay. That's something that you're doing for others, a service to others. It's making you feel good. It's providing something that they otherwise might not get. But the problem when you create habits like this is you create the bad habit of habitually doing this for everyone and never taking care of yourself. And then you get into this this bad pattern. And from my personal experience, this pattern creates an unnecessary illusion of obligation, and it creates almost an emptiness inside yourself, because you always gotta fill your own cup first. You've always got to take care of you. You've always got to, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, if your cup's empty, how can you fill anyone else's from it? And there's gonna be times to where you've got nothing left, but you dig it up and you help somebody, or you do something, or you just have a conversation with someone and you don't realize that maybe you needed to hear what they had to say. Maybe you're going through something similar and didn't even realize it. But then it kind of ties back into this state of learning boundaries. There's going to be a time to where somebody reaches out to you where you just don't have whatever it is they need from you. And it's okay to tell people no. It's all right. It's completely acceptable to tell people no. You don't have to be a dick about it, but just like, hey man, I need help with this. No, I can't do it. I'm sorry. Or somebody starts putting some shit on you that you're just not ready to hear, and it's okay to be like, hey, I really want to do what I can for you, but I've got my own shit going on right now that I've got to deal with. So maybe give me a little time. If you're still needing help, I'll be there. These are things that, you're just kind of standing up for yourself in the sense of, you're not over giving, you're not oversharing yourself, because after long periods of time of doing that, you're empty, you have nothing left, and then you're leaning on everything and everyone around you to help you out, and you're in a panicked state. You're in, you get in this neurotic mindset to where you just can't believe that there's anything else, or the lack of self-sustainability. It's impossible, whether it be financially, whether it be mentally, whether it be anything. So just sometimes you got to realize where you're at, and you got to accept that, and you got to be okay with it, not just say you're okay. You've really got to embrace it and know that, hey, this is where I'm at today, and that's okay. And then you take that day and you spend it on you. Do something you enjoy. Like for me, I go to the gym. It's a fantastic time for me. I know that there's sometimes people really need help, or they need something, and I need to recharge too, or I need to go on a car ride and ignore the world, crank the music up, and forget that everybody else exists for a little while. That's important. No matter how extroverted I am, I get extroverted out sometimes. So, that's one big point of that I wanted to make today. That's one thing that I wanted to focus on. And then that kind of ties into the other about love. Love comes with a price in every aspect. You are not in any relationship in your entire life, friendships, romantic, it doesn't matter, family relationships, you are not in a relationship to gain anything yourself. And that's something that we all fall very, very far into sometimes, and that's okay. But it takes recognizing that. I find myself still doing this, even after years of working on me, even after years of trying to build myself up to be a stronger person and to be more stable and more secure. And I've done quite well. I'm proud of where I'm at today. I honestly am. I still have my moments that I'm not so proud of, but I take them as moments. I don't take them as a reflection of who I am. You know, I'm not proud of all my behaviors. I still am guilty of trying to, you know, argue with people that I care about just to be heard or just to have my side seen, when in all essence, if that's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. You know, it does matter, but if you have to force it, then it doesn't. Just step back. You know, removing people out of my life has been hard. You know, removing friends that I cared about dearly, whether it be because they refuse to grow as people, or they're still stuck in things that, you know, aren't a part of my life, and things that I don't want around, things that I don't need to be involved in. You know, that's a plethora of things that could be included in that. And I don't feel guilty about these situations. And anyone who doesn't accept that, that's their problem, not mine. I don't say that to be cold. I say that because it's the truth. You know, I accept everyone where they're at the best that I can, and I try to love everybody through that. Sometimes you got to love people from a distance. And, you know, we're all going to have those moments to where we try to let things go a little further than we should, where we try to stay involved in something, or we try to ride something out. You know, I say these things because I've done them, I've seen them, I've been through them, I've tried to help others through it, and, you know, that's been the biggest standing point of me being able to grow and get through things, is understanding that I can retain almost everything I hear, and it's easy to try to help others through it, but getting yourself through something, it's not so easy. Taking your own advice, you know, it's like trying to jump over the Grand Canyon sometimes. It's not going to happen. But that's when you need to step back, and you need to look inside, look in the mirror, show yourself some love, and find an alternative route. You'll find a different way that works for you. Find a way around that massive void or gorge, or whatever you want to, you know, however you want to figuratively, you know, put it. You know, love is a very, very powerful thing. Everybody feels it on different levels, for different people, for different things. You're going to come across things in your lifetime that you love much more than others. You're going to have friendships or relationships with people that you don't forget about, no matter how much time has passed, no matter how much is put in between that. But that doesn't take away from the fact that you can't value what is still there. And primarily loving yourself that's the key. And I will say that over and over again, and I will drive that through, because sometimes I still struggle with this quite regularly, and nobody likes to deal with anxiety. Nobody likes to deal with your mind creating these scenarios and things that you just can't handle. You know, it's hard to fathom that, you know, we're capable of creating things in our own head that are destructive, but it probably happens more often than other people do. You know, other people, they create situations and environments, and we create, you know, the things that go along with them by staying stuck in them, by allowing them, by, you know, not understanding how to have a conversation with someone, and instead of listening, we shut down, or we listen with our mouths instead of our ears, and we try to just wait for our turn to respond, as opposed to listening, or trying to control what the other person's doing when we're not being heard. You know, these are all big problems, but we also tend to create things in our head that aren't there, out of fear and out of control, and, you know, out of not being able to accept things. And that's a struggle. That is an everyday struggle for a lot of people. And some people it's just moments, and some people it's their entire life. Sometimes they'll let an entire day be consumed by that. And it's rough. It's sad to see people go through that, and it's sad to go through that. It's miserable. You know, the ways to combat that is to take a minute to realize what it is you're thinking. Why are you feeling the way you are? Why are you thinking the way you are? Why can't you let that go or move past whatever it is that's troubling you, or whatever's on your mind? Break it down into something that it's probably not exactly what you're feeling. And if it is exactly what you're feeling, even if it is happening, you know, you've got two options. Either you can roll with it, you can embrace it because it's there, it's not going anywhere, no matter how much you protest, or you can let it just eat you alive. It can let you change your behaviors and lash out on yourself and on others, and instead of just continuing to find the happy spots in life, the joy in life, the things that are important to you, you know, staying on your center, staying on your game and your purpose. So I'm going to wrap this up because we're past the 10-minute mark. You know, I think I've covered all my points, and I'm just going to start talking in circles like I usually do. But just remember the value of love. Love is unconditional. Relationships are not. Circumstances are not. Environments are not. Love will always be there to different capacities. Sometimes it wanes. Sometimes, you know, it goes away almost completely, but it's always going to be there to some extent, and you've got to learn to be okay with that. I had to learn to be okay with that because I needed to find peace. You know, and part of loving yourself is being able to recognize when you need to spend that extra little bit of time on you for whatever it is, whatever purpose, whatever reason, and be able to say no. You know, being a someone who loves as deeply as I always have, someone who's always wore his heart on his sleeves like an idiot. I say that now, you know, but I don't fully feel that, because I would rather be that way than to ever have to hide who I really am. Yeah, it's not always worked out well, but that doesn't mean that it didn't have some kind of positive impact. That doesn't mean that I didn't take something away from, or someone else didn't take something away from that was necessary. And if you're able to do that for somebody else or yourself, then what did you lose? Nothing. So just stay the course, everybody. Take care.